that conversation about immigrants. Oh, they just come over here and they take our job. Check y'all jobs. What job? The job that nobody don't want. The job that everybody think they too good for anyway. Them people walk 17 days. Sleeping aluminum foil for 8-9 months in the rain, sun, everything. Swim across the Atlantic Ocean just to come over here to provide a service. And y'all don't want them up here. You're supposed to be greeting them at the border with old moms if you ask me. You need to be throwing them immigrant day. Y'all get Christopher Columbus day. And he's the biggest thug in American history. And you want me to believe that they coming over here taking your job. The reason y'all scared of them coming over here is the fact that they gonna come over here and show people what hard work really is. That's what y'all privileged get on. I ain't never heard no in the hood talking about no immigrant took their job. I ain't heard now I ain't never heard. I went to King of Diamonds and then they give me the job. They gave me the Isabel. I ain't heard that. Not me. But y'all want to believe every time a action coming around, oh, y'all scared of the immigrants, the boogeyman. But the whole time they cut your grass and cleaning your house, you ain't asking them people that they got the green card or pink card and none of that shit. But y'all want to act like they taking something fucking you. We supposed to be at the border with old moms, you ask me, by some immigrant. I wish I must Sam. I buy you many Corona. I buy you many Coronas that you want. I see them in the convenience store, all the corner store. I buy it up, man. Can go. Y'all the deserve this shit. Y'all the one working hard. Talking about y'all scared of immigrants. I don't want to hear that shit.
Welcome back to Breakdown Friday. Joseph Ward, Patrick Irvin, Professor Carl Tone Jones. We are here breaking down politics and the immigration issue. As you can see in the profane-laced video that preceded us, I hate to say this, but Florida rapper Plies is giving us his opinion on how he perceives people are reacting to the border issue based off a conversation like he said he had with one person. But I'm sure it's broader conversations that's around the immigration issue. And we're going to dive right into it because we're talking about politics, but we're talking about racial politics. We're talking about population. We're talking about numbers. We're talking about power. And we're talking about access to resources, access to jobs, access to ways to be able to live in America and make a living wage. And Plies is his point of view basically is from his conversation, Black people are lazy and they're afraid that the immigrants are going to take their jobs. But why are you afraid that somebody's going to take the jobs that you don't want and the jobs that you ain't working anyway because you're lazy and you don't want the jobs and you think you're too good for the jobs? But I think it's a lot of historical and current stuff that Plies is missing in this. And we're going to do a little education today. So, Pat, shit, you already on one, man. Let's go ahead and get this going, man. What you think about what Plies saying, man?
I don't think nothing about what Plies said, honestly, because Plies ain't on the level where he should be saying any of that.
I mean, well, yes, but you know,
I mean, this dude, like, first off, your whole reputation is built on being a liar. Like, you know, plot plenty of lies, Plies. So it only makes sense that he continues with the fabrications and the faulty stuff. Anyways, all right. To what he said specifically
about the immigration issue.
It's interesting because he says he ain't never met nobody from the hood complaining about immigrants coming over and taking their jobs. Right? That's what he said in the
no hoods and no strippers.
Right. Okay. So at that point, we gotta assume he's talking about what? If they not in the hood, then is he talking about middle class black people? Is he like who is he talking about?
Uh, right.
Like, because if we talking about middle class black workers, well, they already in the middle class. They not worried about immigrants.
Right.
If you're talking about hood people, which is what we assume anytime anybody say lower income or poverty, they talking about the hood. But you just said you ain't never seen no hood people. So who are you talking about?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'm kind of stuck right there. But then there's the statement of, and I'm gonna leave a historical piece for PC because I know he gonna touch on that. I know you gonna touch on that. I'm not trying to beat a dead horse. I'm just coming at it from the standpoint of like thinking about what he said. You contradicted you wiped out your own argument while making the argument. I don't know who these mythical broke non-hood in poverty but not in poverty black people are that you are alluding to, sir. But I can assure you that black people that want to work, that are not lazy, are not worried about the shit you talking about. And the lazy black people are not complaining about immigrants coming and taking jobs.
Because they ain't trying to get the jobs.
Right. So I'm like, I don't know who plot. I think, you know what I think, and then I'm gonna land my plane here. This is what I think. And this is genuine reality, guys. I didn't watch the skit for it. I didn't hear the skit for it. I think black people love creating an imaginary group of other black people to shit on. That's what I think. And I think we do this because we don't really want to shit on the black people that deserve to be shit on, like the rappers and entertainers like Plies.
Right.
So it's like a deflection tactic. It's, he's building a straw man. He got a whole scarecrow set up, dressed like him, that talk like him, and all of that. And he step away from it and say, "Look at that nigga over there. That's everything you hate about life." No, that's you. I land my plane.
It's idiotic at best. The things that he's saying, but of course, I think about the broader issue because we are talking about racial politics. We're talking about how we should, as a group, be maneuvering and be positioning ourselves to have power, have a voice, and be able to have a say in this immigration issue, because more people coming from these Spanish-speaking companies, Spanish-speaking countries, that increase the numbers of the Hispanic and Latino population. Right. A growing population at that. Right. And so
rapidly growing.
If you have the white population whose numbers are going down, the black populations whose numbers have been stagnant, the Asian population numbers growing, and rapidly the Hispanic population are growing. We're talking racial politics. Those who have the largest racial numbers and or have the actual real power are the ones who are in power. So just put that out there. So PC, what do you think about what Plies says in the broader conversation about the immigration?
Well, he's from Florida, so y'all gotta own this one.
No, I always have
to own the Philly Cats. So y'all gotta own Plies.
Look, we know we're the craziest states. We know that. Look, Texas dream about being crazy as us. We just put it like
that. That's hilarious because I've been to Texas. I've been to Florida too. But the funny, I can't take people like Plies seriously. So when I saw this, I said, "Oh, god damn, man, we have sunk to a new low." When I saw this,
yeah,
I said, there must not be any material floating around this week, big. But unfortunately, he represents a large population of ignorant people, ignorant Negroes that talk off the seat of their ass. That just it sounds good to say, So, and because it sounds good and you get an audience, because, you know, when you speak with authority, people tend, if ignorant people who are ignorant to the topic, they tend to believe you. That's why people will quote memes as facts, you know, a decade ago. So when we listen to somebody like Plies, and I hadn't heard anything from Plies since the time he got, like, you know, had that running out LA and he was hiding in the bathroom. No, that was a sad, you know, sense of humor. But let's just stick to the facts. First of all, social media has given a lot of people access to a platform.
Yep.
And just because people have access to a platform doesn't necessarily mean that their points need to be heard or given any validity, especially if they haven't done any research. And one thing you can say about when groups come to America, they supplant Black people. And they're typically brought in to supplant Black people. So if you go back to the end of the Civil War in the post-antebellum era in this country, that's when you started seeing the calls for immigrants from Europe to come to America. Why did they need immigrants to come to America? Well, they needed, because America at the time, for the population that was here and for the space that was actually owned by America, that was actually colonized, it was overcrowded. So that's why they had the expansion west. And the country was falling apart because financially there wasn't no money. They called all those folk over here because they didn't have any skilled labor. All the skilled labor went to what we now refer to as the Black Wall Streets. Those towns that were built up. Those Black people were actually building towns out of the mud. And so when they left the plantations, all the skilled labor left with them, the blacksmiths, the silversmiths, the craftsmen, the masons, all that stuff left. Now, when you fast forward to the Latin countries and the push for their immigration here to America, now you're talking about the labor forces and replacing Black labor. But you're also talking to the fact that the white population has been on a genetic decline over the last decade or so, actually longer than that. So, and it didn't just start in America. I actually used to debate people because they were crying about it happening in Eastern Europe over a decade ago. One of the things that happens, those groups that come to America racially get to identify as white. That's why you get the large populace, because Latino is not a race. It's an ethnicity.
Right. Hispanic and Latino, they're ethnicities.
Right. So you have Black Latinos and white Latinos. And if you go back to their countries, the dark-skinned Latinos will tell you about all the racism they deal with in their country. Mm-hmm. You go to India, you have the white Indians, and you have the Black ones.
The Dalits.
Right. And, you know, Ethiopia, Egypt, all those countries, when they come to America, they get to identify as white. Well, I don't know about Ethiopia, but Egypt for sure. Because I had, had elder, Dr. Mustafa, I
remember you interviewed him.
Right. Dr. Mustafa. Right. So he's been fighting for the last 40 years to be identified as a Black man in America.
Yeah, they classified him as white.
Right. So when groups come to America, they replace and supplant Black people because they become the next group. So that's why in Black communities, they're full of Arab stores, they're full of Latino stores and corner stores and bodegas. And then you go to, and they get to pillage the Asian community even. They get to pillage off of that. And they're often put in those places where Black people, laws and policies, and we talked about this a few weeks ago, laws and policies prevent Black people from owning businesses in those same areas, but tax treaty laws and policies allow for the same areas to be occupied and utilized for business against the black community. So when you talk about the immigration issue, black people can't get laws in this country to protect us. But every group that comes to America can have national policy passed through Congress to aid and assist their being here in America. And it then subjugates the black population to more destitute conditions, more poverty, and less access to build and obtain our own wealth. Because we have laws, policies against us, but other groups come in and they have these laws and policies that are for them. And I land my plane.
Racial politics, understanding things. So Plies is what's funny though is Plies' rhetoric is classic left rhetoric. Basically, you're lazy and you're afraid of immigrants because the idea is if you are against immigration, then you are racist. Let's just put that out there. Let's not act like that's not what the mindset is. If you are against another group of people coming into America, then you are racist. That's the mindset and that's the idea. Now, what Plies doesn't know is what's funny with the left rhetoric is, and I put this link in the description, but this is from the USA Today, an article from the USA Today. Basically, Joe Biden's rhetoric on immigration and keeping the border secure has changed drastically from when he first got into office. Now, Joe Biden and his administration, their rhetoric is basically mirroring the Republicans' rhetoric. So we're going to put a limit on how many immigrants can come through. If more than 5,000 immigrants come through at any given time, then there will be a cap that's put on this, right? Because basically, it's a lot of people coming in. It's a lot of people coming over the border, and when you think about protecting your own, protecting your right, protecting your things, protecting your population, protecting your people. Not saying protecting your people in the sense that I'm saying that these Hispanic or Latino people are going to come over and be tyrants, be terrorists and things like that. But we're talking racial politics. White people understand racial politics. The right, I believe the right understand racial politics a bit more than the left. You might debate me on that, but when we come and looking at other groups of people coming into America, the more Hispanics come into America, the more power they gain. You already have John Leguizamo out here saying some outlandish stuff, basically trying to take credit for things that African people, black people have done. And so they're going to get more emboldened once the population grows, especially ones who want power. Every group wants power. Let's put it on the table. Let's not lie. Let's not be cute. Every group of people want power. We're the only group of people in America who don't have access to the power because we won't do what we need to do for ourselves. But every group of people want power. The Asians are making sure that they increase their wealth and their numbers. The Hispanics are making sure they increase their wealth and their numbers. White people want to increase their wealth and they want to improve their numbers. We are stagnant. We just here. We the only ones that don't get it. So racism is a team sport, whether you want to play or not. You're part of the game. Go ahead, my bad.
No, you good. I think, and I don't think there's a debate. I think the right understands racial politics more than the left because the right actively engages in it.
Right.
They don't pretend like it doesn't exist.
Right.
Whereas the left does. So just by virtue of practice, they're better at it. But I think one of the things that's interesting is also this month, for those that didn't know, the Texas law, since we harped on Florida, I got to say this. The Texas law that removes diversity and inclusion offices across Texas schools went into effect today, I believe.
And DEI was shut down here in Florida. DeSantis passed that bill, so no more funding for DEI programs at the university level.
Well, DeSantis didn't pass that bill. The Florida Congress passed that bill.
Well, either way, they all friends.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But again, that's another example of playing racial politics because now schools across those states don't even have to entertain the illusion of being
Right.
inclusive. So, but I think one of the things that like black people have to come to grips with is the idea that this is a team sport, and what you say in public, unfortunately, matters.
It does.
Plies, you can't, regardless of how you feel about it, sharing what you're saying on a national platform like you have carries consequences. It carries impacts. It carries, ramifications for the rest of us. And there's something to be said about the fact that throughout history, our thought leaders and our chiefs and champions of rhetoric have been former entertainers, but that's something we get into all the time. But again, it goes back into this power dynamic.
Yep.
The Hispanics have set themselves up in such a way that they can claim whatever race is at the top of the power structure.
Yep.
That's a brilliant move.
Yep.
Brilliant. Strategically brilliant. White
We're
people
white.
have
Right. They're like, we're
Well,
white, but we're Hispanic. We're Latino. I mean, we're white, but we're Latino.
right. We're black,
Or
but we're Hispanic.
Afro Latino, yeah.
Right. Or and I mean hell, because it's an
You can be Asian
ethnicity
as
and not a
well.
race, they could be an Asian and Hispanic or a Native American. And they can be whatever and that's a
Whatever
brilliant
race. Yeah.
tactical move. The white people, they have the dominant culture. So even if numerically they're not in power, culturally they're always the standard.
Yep.
Asians are building a very strong economic base.
Yep.
They've all figured out these strategies for how to keep themselves in play.
Guess who hasn't?
And
The one who want to be everybody's friends.
and I think that speaks to something because even in you talking about John Leguizamo and other Hispanics that are claiming credit for things that black people have done, our black people, people that were historically viewed as black have done, that goes into the Hispanic thing. Well, they were black, but they were also Hispanic, so I can claim that. But then you see, like black people tried to do the same shit. We just didn't have no power behind it. How long have black people been claiming indigenous heritage?
We everything.
Mhm.
And like we follow Kyrie Irving, we everything.
Everything but black. PC's been saying this for decades. So I think there's a lot to be said about the games that are being played and our inability to have the courage to grab hold or to even figure out, because our lane could very well be we could take hold of the entertainment lane and forge out a cultural space the same way the South Koreans did with K-pop. If we chose to be strategic about how we handle our entertainment endeavors. But
What the idea or the cultural conditioning of us being the most accommodating group of people in America. We feel like we have to open our arms and be brothers and sisters to every cultural or ethnic or racial group that come into America because of our past and our struggle. And that just lets us know right there that we don't understand our past.
Nah, we don't.
Explain to them why we don't understand the PC.
Well, first of all, we keep trying to run away from it. That's the biggest part. I don't think it's that we don't understand our past. I think we just, want to disavow from it because we don't want to actually dig down deep and actually get into that fight. Most I'll say it. Most Negroes don't, and it's Negroes because most Negroes don't have the intestinal fortitude to deal or do the things that's necessary to engage in that struggle.
Right.
And we come up short because, this is racial politics.
101.
When groups come to America, they understand the homogeny and the importance of being a monolith. Mexicans hate islanders. Islander Latinos, they consider them, you know, watered down. But when they all come to America, and you can literally hop from island to island in central, an island chain in the Caribbean, and that same, dislike or prejudice is practiced by each group. But when they come to America, they understand that they have to be a monolith to operate the politics, and they do so. Puerto Rico is not even its own; it's colonized. But a Puerto Rican will identify with people who have their own countries: Mexican, Guatemalan, Colombian, Cuban. They will all work together. I've seen it. Everybody hates Dominicans and the Latino culture.
But
They consider the lowest of low. But come to America, and now everybody's talking about we want to go to what? We want to go to DR, right? And I wrote some stuff down because, like you said before, white folk understood it, and they've been playing this game for a minute. So that's why they have in the wings in Florida the future governor, George P. Bush. He's Latino, but that's to grab the grip and grab the Latino vote. They already have a Latino Bush in the pipeline. Black people getting closed out because it's not just Latinos coming here and doing the work that we don't want to do. You start looking around at these towns that have been evacuated, that black people could have moved into and organized and built up. Well, now they're getting flooded in with all these immigrants. So all these immigrants are moving into black neighborhoods or parts of neighborhoods that black people are not allowed to go into, like the Cicero neighborhood out there in Chicago. And you have this organized group that when they come in, there'll be 20 of them living in one house. And then 6 months later, they'll all have a house on that block. At least all the families will. That's because they're organized and they're working together and they have a common goal. We don't want to be a monolith here. So we don't want to function. And part of it's the programming. I can't take away from the programming. It worked. But a lot of it. Go ahead.
No, I was just, ad-libbing like, yeah, the programming worked like a mug.
Yeah. So if we actually wanted to be black, wanted to take in this whole, reach back and take what we know and build off it, seeing how other groups come here should be a unifying principle for black people. But when you hear black people talk, our minds are the furthest thing away. The fact that Plies is even talking about this shit is remarkable. Because most black people won't even broach the conversation.
Well, once again, going back to what I said earlier, I believe that's that left conditioning, that left-leaning conditioning that we have to be champions for everybody. And so because I have a platform, because I'm a black person, because I'm a Democrat, we have to be a champion for everybody because we have to be on the right side of history, all while not knowing that the actual party and stuff, the old rhetoric that you're spewing, their actions are showing different. Their actions are what we always said about Joe Biden. When Joe Biden's back, when his back is against the wall, he get real Republican in his actions, don't he?
Yeah, he's a heavy moderate.
Right.
But listen, where he's from, I went to college like 30 minutes from where he's from. It's the whitest part of Pennsylvania. He's from Scranton, the Scranton Wilkes-Barre area. It's one of the up in the mountains, the Billies of the Hills.
Look here.
He's up there from. So, shit, I was gonna say something else to you. You made me forget what I was gonna say, Joe.
Well, I think we got to get away from the rhetoric altogether because look, if you follow the laws and the policies as they're passed and pushed through, you'll see that there's all of them, regardless of what they say, there's a continuity in the American political establishment.
Yeah.
And so the rhetoric doesn't matter, even if you have two presidents that are like diametrically opposed. It doesn't matter because the great equalizer is the legislative branch, Congress. They're the ones. So a president, the system is set up this way. A president can write all the executive orders he wants, and the very next president can come in and cancel all them shits. And Congress is still basically the same Congress, following the same programming. A lot of the things that we gave Trump flack about with regards to the immigration system was already in process during the Obama administration. So, like, that's why I'd be like, we got to get, and I know you guys know this, but for the people that don't, if you get moved by what somebody is saying, you're not ready for the conversation you're listening to.
There you go.
Hey.
There you go. We're political chumps. And Malcolm said that, 60 years ago, over 60 years ago, we're political chumps. And we have not moved forward. We have not progressed. As Dr. Amos Wilson once said, we have regressed as a people. And the regression has been the loss of rights, the loss of the understanding of community, the loss of being aware. So as a community, our EIQ, emotional intelligence, is down the drain, because we not only do we have this whole notion of following the Democrats and following the blue and this, that, and the other. We have black people who sit at these tables, who sit at the head of these places, and they actually are the main enforcers of this rhetoric, the main enforcers of this fear politicking, fear mongering, and with nothing to show for it. And I've literally had brothers out in the street. Brother, you registered to vote? I'm an independent. Enroll it. Yeah. I said, brother, you want to talk? Yeah, so now he's ready to fight. I'm like, but we haven't said a word. I haven't said, do you want to know why I'm independent?
But it doesn't matter why you're an independent. You get to choose whatever party you get to choose.
Right. So when in past, right, not only, and this is a really dynamic thing that happened. The Democrats play on fear tactics and things that nature. The Democrats really don't have a game plan. They're just reactionaries.
Right.
The Republicans are, and we talk about who runs this country. Like, it's one party, I think, and I think the Democrats are just there for like Sideshow Bob or whatever.
The Democrats' saving grace is knowing that at least 90% of black people are gonna go in there and vote Democrat, so they get the bullshit how they operate.
But what I mean,
that ain't what he's saying. Go ahead.
But what I mean is the Democrats are just a distraction. I think these, because when you look at the money, like Wells Fargo will pay both candidates in both parties. Bank of America will pay both candidates. Warren Buffett, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, these people, these hedge fund creators, the managers, they will pay the both parties the same thing. And then when you see like Jesse Ventura, he was the governor of Minnesota as an independent. At one particular time, he was a professional wrestler. So when he was interviewed, he said, you would think sitting on the congressional floor that these people hated each other. He said, but it was just like I was when I was in the WWF that turned to WWE. It's all theater. So when you see them, they'll be out having dinner with one another, joking and kikiing and laughing over the shit over the show that they put on. This is what is happening. It's a shit show. All the policies put in place by the lobbies and the lobbyists way before it even reaches the congressional floor. Then you have, and this is why I was talking about the genius part. You want to maintain conservatism. So what you do is you go to federal courts and you have federal judges put in at very young ages that are conservative, which is what the Republican Party did over the last decade. Now, many of them have lifetime positions. That means that anything comes through their court, they will vote in favor of what works for the conservative side of this particular country. Yeah. Then you have the Supreme Court. We already know what a sham that is.
Yeah. Clarence don't know.
It doesn't even interpret the Constitution, which is what it's supposed to do. It is supposed to say if law and legislation that is passed is constitutional or not. Well, it's not supposed to be, an opinion, even though that's what they give at the end, the formulated opinion. It's not supposed to be based on that. It's supposed to be based on the fact that if this is following the letter of the law. But we both know it depends on who's sitting in those seats and what they determine. Well, we all know. See, I said both, but we all know. So we don't understand. We don't try to understand the politics of the land we work in, which is why I tell people it's a waste of time for black people to vote. Because what your vote should be powerful, but you give up and relinquish your power when you freely give it away to groups that you have ordained to govern over you without doing your, without doing your research or anything else.
We also I picked the video because I wanted to tackle the broader conversation of racial politics. That's why I picked that. That's why I picked that clip, because overall, because I'm listening to him, but I'm also thinking about the bigger picture in this. But also, no, it's one thing. One of the things he was talking about, and he was harping on, is black people and being lazy, reinforcing their racist stereotype that black people are lazy. Once I just asked a question: name me the time in American history where the majority of black people have had the luxury to be lazy.
See, there's a difference between being lazy and being demoralized. And black people have been demoralized. And let's go back to the plantation. What incentive do you have to bale more cotton? What incentive do you have to pack more tobacco leaves? What incentive do you have to do so when and that's just the history of this country. I mean,
yeah, but we really have to move past that, and we really have to think. Of course, we know we talk about a rap Plies. I don't want to make it seem like I'm saying all rappers are dumb, because I don't think that. But Plies, he's special. But it's especially if you're trying to look at today's landscape, there's a hiring problem overall. There's no race on that. There's a hiring problem overall. But black people, those labor jobs, those labor forces, all the low-level jobs or more so manual labor jobs that don't pay a lot, black people be there. Black men are there. Black women aren't. Black people are in Family Dollar. Black people are doing construction. Black people are doing these jobs. Black people, when riding on the back of these garbage trucks, black people are digging ditches. Black people are climbing poles. Black people are digging in holes. Black people are doing these jobs. Let's not act like black people just out here just looking. The majority of black people out here looking for government handout. That's not the majority of black people. Is it too many black people? Yes, but let's not keep trying to spread the narrative of black people don't want to work and black people are lazy and the majority just want stuff handed out to us. Like, no, back it up, my brother. Back it up.
Well, here's what I'm gonna say. That what if they were? Because it's motherfuckers that, like, people who run this country work real hard not to have to really fucking work, and they get the biggest government handout, government expenditures, pennies to the dollar. Do black people get for any of those things? And I had to do a cost analysis about that a while back when I left the work field myself, and I never did the government's, the benefits package or whatever. But when you do a time, when you weigh the time and cost analysis of how much time you give a day job and how much money you make, most people were making just enough money to go back to work.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And when in this whole thing, because I know you want to keep it on the racial politics perspective, and that's
now speak your mind.
But and then I'm going in that direction. Black people have got to stop with this whole notion. I'm gonna say some slick shit, some fly shit, or I'm gonna say like we want to be the ones that say something that's like that's going to go viral. We want to be that person. We just sit back and just and be literally
neck into it,
like but looking and staring into space, like it's like the shit is just coming to them from Mars. You know what I'm saying? And it's embarrassing because it speaks to the ignorance of many of the people, but it also speaks to the fact that if we want to get serious about politics, we need to put these entertainers in their fucking place because they don't need to be the ones speaking broadly for black people. And black people need to stop co-signing this shit. And especially because the young ones are the ones that push this shit further. The young ones, so the next generation of black people are looking at Plies, and this you got a group of dummies out there smoking a joint or smoking whatever. Yup, he right though. We do be out here being lazy and shit. And it's like, and that's the next generation. Watching this. Meanwhile, Pat worked with a bunch of overachieving students at his school. You deal with overachieving black people on a day-to-day basis when you're walking up and down the campuses and canvassing the neighborhood. I work with a bunch of overachieving. I got to kick people out my office when I'm leaving because these cats are knee deep in the books, knee deep on getting their homework done and working and taking on extra projects and things of that nature. And then I see the young hustlers out here, the young brother, like it is not lazy to have a stand where you're trying to sell socks. You know how hard you got to hustle to sell a pair of socks to a motherfucker who's wearing socks?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that whole concept, and because black people are finding new ways to come around that. There's a brother on Roosevelt Boulevard here in Philly. This brother sells waters, sports drinks and things of that nature. I almost said the name, but they ain't sponsoring us, so fuck them. But this brother be out there flipping them shits 30, 40 feet in the air and catching them in the backhand to draw attention to his hustle because he figured out if I sell waters, I sell these sports drinks out here, I sell these iced teas out here, I might be able to pocket $200-$300 a day.
$70K a year.
Right. That's hustling. That ain't lazy. And it's ingenious. Because I tried that shit. I sold 4 waters. I went home.
It's hard. It's a lot of hard-working black people out here who getting shitted on, overlooked because they don't make a certain amount of money or they don't look the part or whatever. But it's just a certain amount of black people that are just overlooked, period. Because, you ain't poor and you ain't rich. You're in the middle. So you ain't like middle class, and you're just like right between that middle class and that poor. You're overlooked. Working class, good working class people get shitted on all the time, and y'all got to stop that shit.
I think what PC spoke to is what I was getting at earlier about how people build the straw man that look just like them.
Yep.
To shit on.
Yep.
Like, because Joe, you and I was talking about this earlier. There is a segment of the black population, and we can get into this because business is a part of politics.
Mm-hmm.
There is absolutely a segment of the black community that is physically lazy in terms of they're not doing what. Now, I'm not going to call them lazy because intellectually they've set up systems where they capitalize off other people's label.
Yeah.
These are these black bourgeoisie business owners that we're talking about, right? Mm-hmm. But you can't call them lazy because they've done the intellectual labor to set these things up to where they don't have to do a lot of physical exertion. Now, what ends up happening is they end up hiring a bunch of people that are just there to do a paycheck. They doing the bare minimum, and now your business is falling apart. Okay. Mm-hmm. That's a conversation to be had about black people with regards to black businesses. We don't want to talk about it. We need to talk about it because that is definitely a thing. Joe and I was talking PC. You and I have been talking about several interactions that I've been having lately with black business owners and black workers that are not just up to par because they just doing bare minimum to get a paycheck. And if they got to cut corners, they cut corners. But I would never call them lazy.
Mm-hmm.
You know how much work goes into positioning yourself to do something and then doing just good enough to not get in trouble for doing it?
It's a skill. It's a skill set.
I mean, and we, perception wise, some people probably look at him like he lazy, or he, look at what you did to become where you are. You had to lie about who you was and create these tropes and poison black people with your music and all this stuff here. But just like you said, you created systems that can benefit you. So we're not gonna call you lazy. It might not be ethical. It might not be right. It might not be good. It's definitely destructive, but lazy.
Listen.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead. The 40-hour work week is the biggest fucking scam on the planet. And the only reason people have to work 40 hours a week, now 60 hours a week, is because those rich elite motherfuckers that run the world realize that if we give these people enough time on their hands, they will realize they don't fucking need us. So let's consistently tax them. Let's consistently make it where it's hard for them to buy something to eat. And let's consistently put them in situations where we're going to make sure these prison cells get filled. We're going to make sure these cemeteries stay in business. We're going to make sure these hospitals stay in business. And we're going to do all we can to press these cats. We're getting pressed right now. It's like the United States government and all the people behind it, the people behind this curtain right here, they pressing us right now. And they coming hard. Just like that, they pressing us. What you got, homie? What you got? And
40.
And so they say, well, I can give you some more out. Yeah, we're gonna need that because the taxes went up this year, little nigga. And we're gonna have to get that out of you. And you know what I'm saying? And if you ain't got it, we're gonna squeeze your kids. So that's literally what's happening to us. And that's the only reason a 40-hour work was even implemented. The work, look at how much time Pat just described it. How much time we spend bullshitting at work. We don't spend that time working on our jobs, just doing, giving, like they literally they created a policy for this called stealing time.
Yeah.
Nobody is at work working strictly on the hour unless you're doing some labor work. And even in labor, the boys work. People find ways to make it as easy as possible. We're not on there going full bore for 8 hours a day. And nobody should. Nobody should have to. You want to talk about a system that needs to be toppled? It's the one that makes people slaves to the fact that they need to earn a living to create a fiat currency that's no longer even being printed in order to survive. And that shit can be taxed electronically now in every way, shape, or form. So the racial politics about all of this right now
is real.
Is real, but it induces class politics as well.
Yep.
And because we are not a monolith as a people, we can't get to the class politics because we have not dealt with the racial politics that comes with being at war. So other people understand we're at war, and so we need to be a united front. I don't like you, you don't like me, but we got to survive. So let's work together, get what we need, and we'll deal with each other later. No, we ain't doing that. We too busy on shows talking about lifestyles and leisure activities and things of that nature. We ain't focused on the politics in hand. We ain't focused on the reality in hand. We ain't focused on the fact a year from now, this shit we might not even have access to electricity or whatever because of how desperate the war situation over there in Russia and Ukraine and all these other places are. It's like 20-something wars going on right now that we know nothing about. And we're sitting here, because we're buffered in this place called America. We're buffered from all that. So we don't even really understand the plight we're in right now. Maybe we need some more plies about our condition.
But that's the reason why like rhetoric like this has to be shut down. Stuff like this has to be shut down. You have to have some understanding, some context behind this, and some historical backing behind this. You can't just be out here saying stuff because it's like you said, it's dangerous for somebody in his position to be saying that with so many people listening to him and so many people buying into what he's saying. And it's dangerous because, brother, you don't know what you're talking about.
That's why they're called influencers. Right. And it's purposely put in place because they keep influencing dumber and dumber cats every day.
Keep listening and stuff like that, and watch less and less black people have access to the things that they need. Because remember, we already chose not to work together. So our survival is dependent upon what white people will give us. And most of us ain't gonna be the Negroes chosen.
But the other part we have to accept as black people is that these become self-fulfilling prophecies. You know, in certain circles, they call them spells, spellbinding, and all that other stuff. I ain't gonna get too deep into that because that ain't. But you know, PC and Joe, they know that shit. But I know self-fulfilling prophecies. You know, you speak this enough, there will be a segment of people that believe that is what it means to be authentically black.
Yep.
And in their desire to be authentically black, they become that.
Yep.
And now that negative thing that was negative to people with good sense becomes a positive thing as a part of the black counterculture.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And
Because
so
everybody has to feel good and included.
Right. And so we got to start thinking about it on that level. While you might we think it's dumb, there's a group of people out there that's gonna be like, man, that nigga right, man, because I'm black. I don't be trying to work for nobody. You know what I'm talking about? And they dapping each other up and all that. They on their weed spaceship talking about carbon in the universe and all of that, right? All of this stuff gets endorsed, and now they're giving each other dopamine hits and all this other shit by bigging up each other. Yeah, bro, that's right, man. You trying to be no slave to the system, man. I ain't fucking around with them crackers. My cracker was telling me just the other day, come in for work. Guess what I told him? Bitch, you crazy. I ain't say that, but I hung up on his ass because I ain't going in to work. You know what I'm talking? And he'll be getting celebrated for choosing not to go to work because that's what black people do. And the black people that's working, we like ain't no black people like. Yes, it is. I met them. I've interacted with them. I've seen them. As children and as adults.
It's too many.
Well, hold on, man, because the black man is God and he's lazy. So
Yeah,
maybe that
so
explains what's going on.
the only good thing about being a black man right now is that black men don't cheat. And that's a joke.
Hey, man, real black men don't cheat, according to Carlos. I'm with him. But nah. But anyway, not to beat a dead horse. We ain't gonna beat this dead horse. I think we said enough of what we need to say and getting out this point of you better understand racial politics and you better get the understanding now. Because the more we lack understanding or the more we operate in a way that's detrimental to us, the less access to resources we will have. Because once again, remember, the majority of us, black people as a whole, we make the choice to not be self-sufficient. So you're dependent. So your access will be limited. So we did it to ourselves. And then we want to be friends with people who come in and taking our access. So you did it to yourself. So yeah. Joseph Ward, Professor Carl Tone Jones, Patrick Irvin. Remember the FetLifeStation.com link is in the description to check out Professor Carl Tone Jones at 7 p.m. tonight. Make sure you tune in. If you ain't tuning in, I don't know what you're talking about. Support me, Cash App, Joseph Ward 84. Other stuff is in the link. It's in the description if you want to support me. You can do the super like button, all those things. Check out my website, check out my book series, all those things that we got going on. So, man, this is what we do. This is what we're doing. We're going to be back next week. So appreciate y'all, gentlemen.